All right, so here's the update with the whole court case or whatever. We get there. Thank God she didn't push the date further back, whatever. They finalized the paperwork. I'll be more happy when I actually have the paperwork in hand. But they said they'll have it by the 22nd of April. They said it should be way before the 22nd of April. So now, you know, I'm just waiting for that. She's gonna be paying me child support of $230, $238 a month, which is crazy because it's like $1,500 and I'm paying in child support $238 that she pays in child support. The disparity there and the difference is ridiculous, but you know what? Whatever. That's the least of my problems. I could put that into a locked account for my daughter. It's not like I don't even notice that money, but whatever. And now there's some type of accountability. After 4 years, 100 grand, stress, back and forth court dates, I guess it came to a conclusion. But it's sad because even though I won, I still feel like I lost because now I know what the future is going to be. My child support money is what was paying for her hotel, living there in that motel. That was her only means before she hit the floor. That's why she wasn't contributing financially towards her daycare. She wasn't contributing financially towards the babysitter. She wasn't buying diapers or clothes or anything because she was using everything that I've given her for her own survival, which is sad. But now she's gonna be on the streets because that was her last shelf before she hit the floor. And I can't save her anymore. Every time I've saved her, she has taken me and drugged me down with her or abused me for helping her or trying to save her. It's like one of those people is like, yo, look, I see the floor there. Look, don't do that. Let me try to help you. And they bring you down with them. And then you're like, oh shit, I'm not going to put myself back in that position again. But helping people can actually hurt you. That's what she's became. It's just a sad truth. I didn't want it to be this way. Like every choice that she has made, I'm just venting here, was counterproductive to her own survival. And every choice that she made was out of emotions. And this is my biggest thing with women and emotions. Their emotions dictate their actions a lot of the time. Her emotions said, okay, he's giving me a divorce. I'm trying to weaponize him proposing me with a divorce, and I'm going to kidnap your child and take our child out of a safe house into a homeless shelter. Her emotions said child support is more important than the well-being of my child, so I'm going to kidnap our child for 6 months, so you have to hire a team of private investigators. Her emotions said I could do this by myself. And then she lived in a room and she ended up losing the room and back into a worse position than what it was, because every decision that she made was emotional based with no rationality of what's next. And I remember saying, hey, look, you know, you're doing this the wrong way. You're doing this the wrong way. And then I get attacked for it, or I get shut down, or it becomes a silent treatment, or you don't want to answer the phone, or you want to bring me back to court. Or it's just like, after a while, I gave up. I said, I'm not going to save you no more. These are your choices that you're making that you're going to have to deal with the consequence with. But emotions do not fix problems. Emotions do not fix problems. I'm just happy that I was lucky enough to have a good job, good benefits, to continue fighting for all these years. Because if I wasn't in my daughter's life, my daughter would be in the shelter again, or deported back somewhere in Mexico, or somewhere living on the street because the mom can't even take care of herself. And it's sad because I would like my daughter to have a mom who can at least have a stable environment, a household to say, okay, mom has a home. I can go to mom's house and I'm safe. Not I can go to mom's hotel room in a fucked up neighborhood across the street from McDonald's, surrounded by fucked up people. That's not a safe environment. I could call mom for help. You can't call mom for help because mom can't save herself. And I think that's the sad part. But I hold myself accountable because I made that choice to deal with this woman. Even though she lied to me, manipulated me, told me that she was on birth control, hit me up 3 months later, talking about she might be pregnant. And I had to get a DNA test because she slept with everybody else to sit there and figure out if this is my child. Ran me through the gutters of the court systems. Kidnapped my child for months. Cost me thousands of dollars of hiring a private investigator. Left me with all the responsibility of a child in the long run. Still paying child support. Trying to save her from her bad decisions. Ultimately, for her to put herself back in those same predicaments and worse. After a while, anybody would just have to step back from that. You have to step back from that. So I don't even want the child support. I don't need the child support. I don't even want it. It's sad because now I feel like I'm kicking you when you're down. So, but there has to be an accountability factor of something. Of something. So let's see how this plays out. But I won. I'm not happy about it. Everything is finalized. The paperwork should be coming in, hopefully. It's a shitty feeling. It's just, be careful who you have kids with. Who you have kids with would be your greatest asset or your greatest liability. Who you have kids with will make or break you. Will shape your future. Will shape the everything, essentially. How you look at the world, how you receive the world, how the world looks at you, what you got to deal with in the world. I fucked up. I fucked up marrying her. I fucked up being in a homeless shelter in New York, joining the military. Military is enticing like a motherfucker. Yo, if you get married, you know, you don't have to live on post. We'll pay you more. You get all these benefits if you get married. You're talking to a man who's living in a homeless shelter. Of course I'm gonna get married. And it's crazy because I made my choice on marrying her based on her on kids. I had 3 girls at that time. I had one girl who had 3 kids. I had one girl who had 2 kids. And I had one girl who had no kids. I chose the girl who had no kids, and that was the worst decision. I should have just chose none of them. Because none of them was a good. I should have just went to the military as a single soldier. And just not dealt with any type of women. And this is what fucks up marriage a lot of the time for women. Because this is so common. Men don't want to go through this. This is abuse. So we're afraid. I don't want to get married anymore. I'm done with marriage. If I'm going to get married, I'm going to marry myself. I would rather marry an inanimate object. I'll marry a car. I'll marry a bridge. I'll marry the floor before I marry a woman. Because marrying a woman comes with so many risks and liabilities. I don't want to put myself back in that same situation, which is another reason why I didn't have more kids. I said one and done. I never want to put myself in another position like this again. I don't want to have multiple baby moms. Women don't stay anyway, and they're just going to put me through the court systems. Take everything I own, and then call me a deadbeat. A lot of men feel the same way I feel. It's abuse. And that's why when I talk in my podcast and I say these things, a lot of women are like, you hate women. No, I hate the nature of a majority of women that put a majority of men through these same circumstances that I had to endure. And I beat the odds. 17 to 20% of men win. 17 to 20%. I fell in that category. And I had to fight for 4 years. Spent thousands of dollars. I had to go through bullshit to get to this point. Why would anybody want to put themselves to that knowing that this is going to be the end result? That's why I say women killed marriage. Women single-handedly killed marriage. And I'm not going to say there's not a small percentage of men that left marriages too, but look at the statistics. 70% of women are leaving marriages and doing exactly what happened to me, to men. Why the fuck do we want to do that to ourselves? So I'm done. I'm done. I can close this chapter. When I finally get this paperwork, I'm gonna take myself out. Probably play some pool. I don't know, get something for the car, wax the car, sit in the car, look at the stars. I'm gonna just take myself out and do something to digress from the 4 years of bullshit and trauma that she has put me through, and ultimately hurt my daughter. I didn't break up the home. I didn't want to bring it this far. I didn't want it to be this way. But the thirst for revenge and ego and selfishness is crazy. I don't care if my daughter has a dad. I'm gonna put her in a homeless shelter and kidnap her for 6 months. I don't care what that does to the dad. I don't care if I can take care of my daughter by myself. My ego is I don't need a man. But then I'm gonna put myself in a homeless shelter and struggle when I can't take care of myself or the daughter. And then my daughter's gonna be affected. I don't care if I can't pay for diapers, clothes, food, shelter. My ego is more important than the well-being of my child. And my ability to weaponize the court system is way more important than my daughter's future. And then when it blows up, I'm a victim. Damn, he brought me to court. Oh my God. He stole the kid. Oh my God. Victim in a narrative that she has created. I don't care anymore. Sad. But after a while, you become numb to these kind of things. Life for boobie.